just in case you need a reason, 16 teams in the second season, a record in All-Stars and coach with a deal. There's no question that now the games are for real. There are no ties in the postseason, but you'll see a few plus a whole lot more right now on ECHL Week.
Welcome to another edition of ECHL Week, coming to you this time from Reading, Pennsylvania, as we wrap up the regular season and look ahead to the 2017 Kelly Cup playoffs. The Kelly Cup playoff preview opens with a look at the Eastern Conference pairings. We lead the North Division preview with a rematch from last season. Adirondack ousted the Monarchs in 5 games a year ago in the first playoff round. The Thunder was the hottest team in the East at the end of the regular season, 10-0-1 to finish the year. Peter MacArthur was the team's leading scorer, and goalie J.P. Anderson was near the top of the league in both goals against average and save percentage. Manchester's top scorer, Matt Leitner, averaged over a point per game. The Monarchs employed 5 goalies this season. Charles Williams, with only 3 games under his belt, had the best numbers. The other North Series has Reading in the playoffs for the 8th straight season versus Brampton, making its first ECHL postseason appearance. Forwards Olivier Labelle and Robbie Zarnik lead the Royals' scoring brigade, while Mark Dekanich, fresh off Goalie of the Week honors, might now be hitting his stride. 41-goal scorer David Pecan and all-ECHL second-teamer David Valerani, an ex-Royal, pace the Beasts' offense. Andrew D'Agostini will handle the goaltending load, pending Zach Fucale's return from the American Hockey League. The South Division features a Sunshine State battle. Brendan O'Donnell, the only other 41-goal scorer in the league, and Brant Harris should help in generating offense for Florida, while goaltender Anthony Peters, 31 wins this season, provides the last line of defense. For Orlando, Eric Fye, Justin Buzzio, and Joe Perry were all 50-point producers during the regular season. The Solar Bears' bigger issue will be defense. This season, they allowed more goals than any other Kelly Cup playoff team. The final Eastern Conference matchup pits Greenville, led by prolific forwards Brandon Alderson and Angelo Michelli, against South Carolina, which will rely on Rob Flick, the only Stingray with more than 20 goals in the regular season. It's the Rays' 10th straight year in the playoffs, and goaltender Parker Milner will be making his 3rd consecutive appearance in the ECHL's postseason. Veterans Mackenzie Skatsky and Jeff Malcolm, who handled most of the work between the pipes for the Swamp Rabbits during the regular season, should do the same in the playoffs.
The league's 2016-17 award winners, plus lots of news, straight ahead on ECHL Week.
Hi, I'm Sean Sadowski of the Fort Wayne Comets, and you're watching ECHL Week.
In news from around the league, we take a look at a future All-Star game, plus more award winners. The ECHL has announced its individual postseason awards, and to almost no one's surprise, Allen's Chad Costello has skated away with his 2nd straight MVP honor. Costello's 89 assists were the 4th highest total in league history, and he had more assists than any other player had points. Costello's Allen teammate Riley Gill is goaltender of the year. He adds this hardware to the playoffs MVP award he took home in 2013. He led the league in save percentage, was tied for 1st in shutouts, and was 2nd in the ECHL in both victories and goals against average. Colorado's Matt Register has been recognized as the Defenseman of the Year. It's the 2nd time in the last 4 years in which he's won the honor. The top point getter among blue liners, he was 2nd in goals and tied for 2nd in assists by defensemen. He was also one of just 6 ECHL defensemen to play in all 72 games. Toledo's Dan Watson has been chosen by fellow coaches, broadcasters, media relations directors, and media members as winner of the John Brophy Award as Coach of the Year. In his first full season as a head coach, he became the 4th Toledo bench boss to take home the award. And one of Watson's players, Tyson Spink, who was named to the All-Rookie team last week, earned the Rookie of the Year award. He led all first-year players with 33 goals and 9 game-winning goals, while finishing third among rookies by a point with 75 points.
Hi, I'm Chris Francis of the Quad City Mallards, and you're watching ECHL Week.
Toledo's Dane Walters scored 5 times in his team's final regular season game to help the Walleye win and clinch their second Grabham Cup in 3 years. Walters was the only player to reach 5 goals in a game this season, and his 6 points tied Norfolk's John Dunbar for most points in a game this year. Toledo finished the season with 106 points and earned home ice advantage for as long as they play in the Kelly Cup playoffs. It's the 4th time a Toledo team has captured the ECHL's regular season point championship. The Walleye will host the 2019 ECHL All-Star Classic at the Huntington Center in downtown Toledo. It will be the first time Toledo hosts the All-Stars. The 4-day event in January 2019 will feature a fan fest, the Walleye Winterfest Youth Hockey Tournament, the 5th annual Winter Brew Fest, the league's 12th Hall of Fame induction ceremony, plus the All-Star Game and Skills Showcase. Steve Martinson, the only head coach the Allen Americans have had during their 3 seasons in the ECHL, will be returning to the club. He's agreed to a 4-year contract. Martinson, whose pro-playing career began in 1981 and included 49 NHL games, has been coaching since 1995 and has led 3 other ECHL teams. Dave Gove, the assistant coach, then head coach of the Wheeling Nailers for most of the 2015-16 season, has died. His body was found in a Pittsburgh rehabilitation facility earlier this month. He was 38. Gove, who played for Johnstown of the ECHL early in his pro career, also played 2 games in the NHL. Many around the league, including ECHL Week, were saddened to learn of his passing.
We preview the Western Conference Divisional Semifinals when ECHL Week continues.
What's the difference between a breakaway and getting caught? Between an odd man rush and being the odd man out? Gaining an extra second. Be ahead of the game.
Hi, I'm Zach Cameras of the Florida Everblades, and you can tweet me at Zach Cameras.
In the Western Conference, the 2-time defending Kelly Cup champion Allen Americans will be defending their title. Here are the other 7 teams involved in the western side of the bracket. The Americans, trying to become the first team in league history to reach the finals in 3 straight years, will open the playoffs against the Utah Grizzlies. Chad Costello, on the heels of his 2nd consecutive League Most Valuable Player award, leads a potent Allen offense, which scored the 2nd most goals in the league. The Grizzlies are led up front by mid-season All-Star Eric Bradford. Rookie netminder Kevin Boyle, under contract to NHL Anaheim, had a fine first season. The other Mountain Division semifinal pits Colorado against Idaho. The Eagles' 6th ECHL season was their best one, with 47 wins. ECHL vet Casey Piero-Zabatel was 2nd in the league in scoring, and along with Matt Garbowski, the Eagles feature a solid attack. The Steelheads, who have never missed the playoffs in their 14 ECHL seasons, have a couple of veterans, Anthony Luciani and Jefferson Dahl, as their best point producers. Regular season champ Toledo will open the postseason against Kalamazoo. Longtime K-Wing Justin Taylor had his best season yet with 32 goals, and he'll lead the offensive charge for the Wings, while Nick Riopel and Joel Martin give this team a well-seasoned goaltending duo. Toledo, the only team in the league with 50 wins during the season, is led on offense by Tyler and Tyson Spink, but those two have lots of help. At the other end, Jake Patterson was one of the top goalies in the league. We wrap up the West with the other central matchup, Fort Wayne and Quad City. Rookie scoring co-leader Mike Cazzola, along with Kyle Thomas and Sean Sidlowski, were 25-goal scorers for the Comets. Fort Wayne is another team with a pair of reliable goalies, Garrett Partis and Pat Nagel. The Mallards have a pair of 60-point men, Chris Francis and Justin Kovacs on the forward line, plus freshman Michael Parks scored 29 goals. Mid-season All-Star goalie C.J. Mott tied for 6th in the ECHL in save percentage.
Hi, this is Matt Wilkins of the Reading Royals, and you're watching ECHL Week.
The men behind the microphones, voices of the ECHL. Today, DJ Abasella of the Wheeling Nailers. What's your favorite road city in the ECHL?
I am a big food guy on the road, so I usually try and find locations where there's something unique to that city. Where I love the barbecue in South Carolina. Florida has a ton of restaurants around the hotel. Grater's Ice Cream in Cincinnati, there's none better. So where I'm on the road, I want to find something good to eat. So that's kind of my way of evaluating road cities. I think my favorite one is probably going to be Estero, Florida.
So what's up with all the ties?
Back when I was in high school, I had my first opportunity to really get involved. I was a public address announcer for all of our sports teams, and that meant that you had to get dressed up. And I wasn't a big fan of getting dressed up in high school, not really the biggest fan of shirts and ties. So I tried to get as creative as I could and tried to have fun with it. And that's kind of carried me towards the pro game. Most of my ties have some sort of a design on them. So I have 18 of them that I use on a regular basis. They all have their own theme to them. They all have a fun design. Most of them are hockey related, and I tend to get a lot of comments on them throughout the season.
What do you like best about your job?
You never know what's going to happen on a night-to-night basis. You may see something that you've never ever seen before. We had a game in Quad City a few weeks ago where they hit the crossbar at the buzzer and the Nailers held on for a 3-2 win. I've never called a penalty shot goal for my team in my career. So you just go in with the open mind, the mystery, the fun, and just being able to do what you love on a night-to-night basis.
That wraps up another edition of ECHL Week from Reading, Pennsylvania. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube. It's the best way to keep up to date on what's going on in the ECHL. We'll see you in 2 weeks for the Kelly Cup playoffs.